Hello, everybody. I am here to give you my take on Matthew. So let's dive into it. I think I need to clean my glasses. So I really kind of dove a little deeper into this one because as I'm going on, I feel like I want to definitely kind of go a little deeper than just reading, going through a few of the places and things like that. So we're going to go where I started, and then I'll kind of intimately show you what I've got as far as pictures and things like that. So let's start with what I've got. So Matthew, we're going to talk about Matthew. The author of the gospel is believed to be the Apostle Matthew, formerly a tax collector from Capernaum. This gospel often uses Jewish terminology and portrays Jesus as the fulfillment of the Old Testament prophecies. However, Matthew also violently attacks the Jewish leaders, particularly the Pharisees. Matthew's accounts contain little narrative since its main purpose is to teach. Okay, so I'm going to read you. Let's do this. Let's go into 2 because I wanted to kind of just read again about Matthew. I know I did before, but I wanted to do that again. So, the visit of the Magi. When Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of King Herod, behold, Magi from the east arrived in Jerusalem, saying, "Where is the newborn King of the Jews? We saw his star as it is rising and have come to do his homage." When King Herod heard this, he was greatly troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. Assembling all the chief priests and the scribes of the people, he inquired of them where the Messiah was to be born. They said to him, "In Bethlehem of Judea, for thus it has been written through the prophet. And you, Bethlehem, land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah, since from you shall come a ruler, who is a shepherd my people Israel." Then Herod called the Magi secretly and ascertained from them the time of the star's appearance. He sent them to Bethlehem and said, "Go and search diligently for the child. When you have found him, bring me word that I too may go and do my homage." After their audience with the king, they set out, and behold, the star that they had seen at its rising preceded them, until it came and stopped over the place where the child was. They were overjoyed at seeing the star, and on entering the house, they saw the child with Mary his mother. They prostrated themselves and did him homage. Then they opened their treasures and offered him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And having been warned in a dream not to return to Herod, they departed for their country by another way, the flight to Egypt. When they had departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream and said, "Rise, take the child and his mother and flee to Egypt, and stay there until I tell you. Herod is going to search for the child to destroy him." Jesus rose and took the child and his mother by night and departed for Egypt. He stayed there until the death of Herod, that what the Lord had said, though the prophet may be fulfilled, "Out of Egypt I called my son." The massacre of the infants. When Herod realized that he had been deceived by the Magi, he became furious. He ordered the massacre of all boys in Bethlehem and its vicinity 2 years and under, in accordance with the time he had ascertained from the Magi. Then was fulfilled what had been said through Jeremiah the prophet. A voice was heard in Ramah, sobbing and loud lamentation, Rachel weeping for her children, and she would not be consoled, since there were no more. The return from Egypt. When Herod had died, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared in a dream to Joseph in Egypt, and said, "Rise, take the child and his mother, and go to the land of Israel, for those who sought the child's life are dead." He rose, took the child and his mother, and went to the land of Israel. But when he heard that Archelaus was ruling over Judea in place of his father Herod, he was afraid to go back there. And because he had been warned in a dream, he departed for the region of Galilee. He went and dwelt in a town called Nazareth, so that what had been spoken through the prophets might be fulfilled. He should be called a Nazarene. So, I'm going to show you what I dove deeper into. So let's do that. Okay. So, the first thing was who were the scribes? Because I didn't really know who the scribes were or what they were about. So, they were educated men who studied, taught, and wrote the law. They were also responsible for copying and preserving the text of Israel, the text being the sacred text. And that is a picture that I printed out of a Pharisee, a scribe. And you can see these scrolls there. Then who were the Magi? Because we all know we three kings, and but I don't know that we all really think about who they actually were, if in fact it describes that. Magi means wise men. These men were probably astrologers at their study of the sky, leading them to Jesus. The Magi came from the east when they sought out Jesus, which means they came from somewhere in modern-day Iraq, Iran, and Saudi Arabia. They arrived during Herod's reign, which helps to place them within the narrative of the world history. Herod reigned from approximately 37 BC to 4 BC. And I got a picture of what they might look like. Again, there are many pictures out there, but I took the one that I felt, at this point was, what I expect them to be, I guess. I don't know. Who was King Herod? In the Bible, he is portrayed as a tyrant who ordered the killing of all children under 2 years old in Bethlehem. He was also known as Herod the Great, ruling from Judea from 37 to 4 BC. He was appointed by the Romans to rule the territory. And again, a picture that I found. I will say that I always found that troubling when I watched Jesus of Nazareth, when those children get killed. I just have a really rough time with that, as I'm sure most people do. So then we get to the massacre of the innocent. As Herod's paranoia of Jesus becoming king took over him, he ordered the killing of all the boys under the age of 2. And it was just a picture again that I found. There's quite a few, but I think this was probably one of the most appropriate ones, or that really depicts what happened at that time. Here I have King Herod when he was speaking to the Magi about finding Jesus. And of course, at that moment, I'm not sure what they thought, but they realized later that, he did not have good intention in mind. And then it talks about Rachel lamenting, and I really didn't know who Rachel was. So I wanted to know who Rachel was. Rachel is a biblical figure. She was the wife of Jacob and the mother of Joseph and Benjamin. The lamentation, crying, was so great it could be heard from Ramah, a town north of Jerusalem. Rachel represents the woman who lost their children in the massacre. And again, there was, as I said, there was a few pictures out there, but I think this one here represented, for me anyway, what Rachel might have felt at that moment. And then here, this was, they prostrated themselves and did him homage. And I just wanted to know exactly what they were trying to say there. And it was that they understood him to be Christ and worthy of worship. And I think Oh, no, I have one more. And then, who was Archelaus, which was Herod's son. He was the son of Herod the Great. He succeeded his father as ruler of Judea. He reigned from 4 BC to 6 AD. So, I mean, I think we learned all in all at that time period, things were very violent and very ugly, and, you understand that at that time, King Herod was trying to stop Jesus from being king because he was so afraid of him being king, and that, he clearly must have believed that Jesus was king, because he went so far into it to kill innocent children under the age of 2, because he was so fearful of not being king anymore and of Jesus being king. So that was disturbing, and I realized that was the sign of the times. One thing I didn't look up, and I think I need to look up later, was how King Herod died, and I don't think I dove into that probably, when I was doing it. So I think I'm gonna probably find that out later. And the good thing is, no matter what we put in here, we're going through this now, and tomorrow we start chapter 3. But you can always go back again and start to look for things you missed last time. You know what I mean? So we also see that Joseph, was definitely trying to protect Jesus and Mary. So, clearly he did the right thing by taking them away, because had he not, Archelaus may have killed baby Jesus as well. And that, that brings us to getting to chapter 4. So tomorrow, chapter 3, I'm sorry. So tomorrow we will dive into that. And I'm planning on going right through Matthew. I did tell you that I got a book, which, oops, let me see if I can grab it without looking. But I did get a book, the Ignatius book of Matthew. Ow. The Gospel of Matthew. So I'm going to try to answer some of those questions as I go along with each chapter. This wasn't really expensive, and I got this off of Amazon. And I will say there was not much cheaper on eBay. So, but I think it's a good thing, just to answer questions and keep yourself going as far as understanding what it is you read. And I think doing this in-depth study, again, I told you that I watch Faith on YouTube. And she went to seminary and stuff, so she learned all about the Bible, and that's what her thing is about the Bible: how to study it, how to learn, how to ask questions. And the questions are who, what, where, and I probably, had I not watched her, I probably would have just read it and tried to decipher what I was reading. Now you go more deeper into it, where you're asking questions, who the people were, getting a little in more depth into, it's King Herod, or, the Magi were just we three kings. So this, doing this gets you more deeper into it, and almost makes the story more real, makes the Bible more real, makes what you're reading, like you can, for me anyway, I can see it in my mind, what I'm reading here, and we all have a vision of what we think is. So I think, that's pretty interesting. And that's what I'm going to continue to do. And I really am interested in seeing what you guys took from it, because we may all take something different, or we may find something a little bit that the other person didn't get. So I think that's super important. So I really want to see what you guys have. and what you took from that reading. And then tomorrow I will post chapter 3, and we will go from there. So for now, that is all. I hope, you got a little something from what I put out there. But again, I'd like to see what you got too, because, I might have missed something that you got. So, we all interpret the Bible a different way. So, yeah. So I guess that's it for now. Oh, and I quickly wanted to mention that our ministry is growing by the day. We have over 2,000 people on YouTube now. 2,000, I don't want to say subscribers because that just sounds cold. I want to say 2,000 family members. And then we're up in the 300s on TikTok, and Instagram is still a struggle. I don't really know why, but it is what it is. And on Facebook, we still have remained with our 27. But if you know anybody that you think might be interested, have them come take a peek. They might be interested. If there's anything else you want to see, we've got a lot going on right now, so I'm kind of keeping, what we have going on with the Rosary in the Year and the Bible in a Year and Catechism in a Year. So once those are all done, I'm sure we'll have left, but I'll figure out something else. Don't worry about it. But anyway, I guess that's it for now. And well, like I said, I hope you guys kind of let me know what your take on chapter 2 was. So, that is all for tonight. God bless you all, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Have a great night.